Okay, we're going to take a look at changing your custom angles within the Revo C Builder and what to look for and when you will need that. I've created a simple pendant bracelet charm, pretty basic, so I'm going to go ahead and open up my Revo C Builder. Go ahead and choose my model and put it into the window, and I will select my supports because this is picking up that it's a non-ring model. Put that in, and it's going to default me to a round solid tube. I'm actually going to choose the auto flip +1. Right now it's kind of auto centering the piece clear down there. Sometimes if you come up, turn off auto center on and off, it's going to bring the model up more towards the top of the wax where we want it, so that as we come down into the top we can get the top features of our piece. Once we're ready there, we go ahead and next, choose our wax size. Default should be fine. Choose our strategy, next, and I'm going to go ahead and make the path. Now once we've made our path, it's always a good idea to come in and inspect, make sure everything is okay. The ones that we're going to mainly be concerned about is with our raised lettering on the sides. So as I come in and take a look at one of them, zoom in here on this raised lettering, you're going to be able to see something that we refer to as shadowing. You can see it here on our lettering. Because we have a slight angle on the side of our piece, as that cutter comes in, it's unable to hit the bottom of the letters. You can see it very prominently here on the E. If we look at our tool paths, they're coming straight down here, and it's not actually getting into and milling out underneath these letters. Very easy to see there, so we'd end up with a pretty big chunk on the letters. Now, what we want to actually do is change the angle at which our cutter is approaching the piece. So if I open up my menus for subpart 2, we will see an option for cut angle. As I click on that, I'll come out into our side view, and you can see this is where the cutter is going to approach from. On a standard auto flip +1, it's coming in at 90 degrees on either side here. So I want to change that. So if I hit this go button, you'll see we get some viewport control handles out there that we can use. Now whenever you're changing a custom angle, it's always a good idea to do it in the viewport in which you can see this little rotation donut. That way we know we're rotating it how we want it. It makes it easiest to see the angle at which we can. So it's as simple as holding this down. Again, if we hold shift, it ratchets on even increments. One thing that I like to do sometimes is, if you can see we have our angle there and we want it to match pretty close, we can pull the cut depth out as well while we're doing this. So I can pull that out just to see how close it's going to match. Depending on your angle, it might not be as drastic as this. I'm going 10 degrees. Now one thing to note here, is that we can only come 100 degrees from this vertical axis. If we start rotating this any farther, as we go to mill the piece, the fixture itself with the spindles is going to crash into our dual-sided fixture. So if I even say I want to put this out at 15 degrees, if we read our command line, once we set it, if we hit enter when done, we're going to get a notice that it's an invalid angle. So just simply hit go again, and we can rotate this back up. It's going to tell you degrees from where we're at, and obviously it comes in at 90, so 90 plus another 10 is 100, so that would give us our extents. And while we're at it, we want to make sure we set our depth, because we're changing the angle. It might not always go as far down as you'd like, so you have to make sure you're getting halfway through your model. And I'll say enter, And it's important to know that you'll have to do this for the same side as well, because this is a symmetrical piece. If I take a look at it, we're going to have the same sort of issue on this side. If we zoom in here, you can see our toolpath isn't coming in and hitting the bottom of that E. So, again, expand your subpart, cut angle, and as I said, it's always a good idea to do it in the viewport. So we say go, and we're going to rotate this down. I went 10 degrees, I went to the furthest extent possible that I could on the other side, so if your piece is symmetrical, you're going to do the same on the other side. Adjust any cut depth that you might need, and we hit enter. So now once that's all done, we'll need to remake our paths. And as that comes in, let's go ahead and open one subpart up and take a look at our letters now. Now you can see as I've done this, it's doing a much better job of getting in there. You're still going to see maybe a slight bit of shadowing here depending on the height of your letters. It's going to have to do with the tip tolerance, but you can see I'm not getting it where it's coming clear down there. It's for the most part hitting the very, very bottom of these letters, and it's going to give a much more pronounced lettering. Double check the other side to make sure it worked as well. And you can see that looks a lot better. It's getting my letters cleaned out much nicer. So that's what you want to look for when determining if you need a custom angle and how to change one.